Action Park
Media.
Welcome to the Bounceback Show. With Uncle Tim, we've got Brother Matt and Scott Wilson. And what are we going to talk about today?
What's up, boys?
What's going on, guys?
I want to start with a couple thank yous. First of all the DMs. A lot of people are giving us love. They're following, they're subscribing. It's really warm. I feel like we're building something here. It's exciting. One guy, Dave, came at me and said, I suck. And I hope, Dave.
Stock tip Dave?
No, not fucking stock tip.
It wasn't Dave Ingram,
It was
was
like,
it?
no, it was like blockhead fucking Dave. And I want to, if he listens to this, hey, Dave, I hope you hate your life. I hope you hate your job, and I hope you eat a plethora of shit fucking sandwiches, you fuck.
Hey, in the DM category, I was laying in bed last night with my girlfriend, and the Timmy Bounceback Pod Instagram got a DM, and it was from this chick, and she sent you her tits. Did you see that?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, man, no, and I'm just bumming.
You missed the titty DM?
Dude, send it to me. Are you looking at the DMs too on that thing or no?
Not really, but I see that they come in, and you're great at responding, so I don't do much with it. Okay. But I saw that this chick was like calling you daddy and shit, and I was like, I gotta see what's going on here. And she sent her tits.
Well,
which is like rock star life. So
okay,
Wow.
Well, after we do this, I'll come into the control room and we'll check them out.
See, that cancels out the bad Dave comment.
exactly.
2 times.
For every bad one, you get a good one.
So the other thing I do was, besides thanking everyone that's listening and being very kind, because I'm really enjoying the show and having a lot of fun, I also want to thank Kevin Conley and Scott Wilson, because today, this is our first show, the Bounceback Show, in the new studio, Action Park Media's new studio. And Kevin and Scott and actually, Stock Tip Dave have been working around the clock. And Scott Wilson is engineering the show right now. And this literally has to catch a flight at LAX to fly across the country. So we got our thank yous in. A lot of you guys know, and it's a little bit morbid to talk about this, but a very dear friend and comedian of mine passed away on September 9th, Norm Macdonald. And I think he would have been 62, October 15th. Norm and I were coming up on a friendship about 7 years, and he had been battling cancer for 9 years and didn't tell anybody. Only immediate family, obviously his son Dylan, his partner Lojo, and his brother Neil, and Neil's wife, Joyce. It came as shock to everybody. And I don't have to tell great stories or prove to anybody what an immense talent Norm Macdonald was. But and this might be controversial, he didn't tell me he had cancer. And I spent an exorbitant amount of time with him because we gambled. I can't tell you how many times we went to Vegas, how many nights we played trivia, how many times he went to Dantana's. And I would hang out with him in Vegas and go into his room, and I would see all of the medication, but I'm no doctor. And it's like, as an older person, people take medicine. It was right under my nose and I didn't figure it out.
Yep.
So I want to quickly say, I selfishly appreciated that Norm Macdonald didn't tell me about his sickness, because it made our friendship authentic and real. I used to yell at Norm, and I borrowed money from Norm. Norm borrowed money from me. We used to argue about picks that we made, that it was his fault and my fault. And all of those emotions were real. And from a selfish standpoint, I really, really appreciate it. I think he was a brave, brave man, a strong man. And Norm, I love you so much. You were one of my best friends, and rest in peace. So I needed to say that. It's out. There we have it.
Fuck cancer, man.
Yeah,
Fuck
absolutely.
Cancer.
Horrible, horrible disease. But I get where you're coming from with appreciating him not telling you, because when the cat's out of the bag, you look at people differently when you know that they're sick. So
Yeah,
I get
like if he had a bad set, I'd be like, Norm, what the fuck were you talking about? You were
Right.
babbling, but if it was bad, I'd be like, oh, it wasn't that bad. We wouldn't have gotten the real criticism,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And his brother did say, hey, Neil goes, my dad would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing. We're from Scottish descent Protestants, and, we don't get very emotional, very stoic people, which made me laugh, because just Neil's funny as well as Norm.
And he was on SNL years and years and years ago, and that Celebrity Jeopardy, Turd Ferguson, still iconic. Everyone still knows about Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, and Will Ferrell was up and coming playing.
Yep.
Alex Trebek.
Yep.
It's really just insane. So I'm glad I got all that out, because now we can start recapping, because this show is live. We had recorded those episodes previous, so we're catching up with real time.
Yep.
So I have to tell you, you guys know I'm a real life Hollywood actor, and last night I shot a television show called Angelyne, and it's about an old famous model in Hollywood, famous for nothing, to be honest, the first one.
Yeah.
And Emmy Rossum is the lead, and she's immensely talented and beautiful, but you will not recognize her. It's insane, the transformation.
A brand new series?
Yep, it's a limited series on NBC's streaming service, Peacock.
Got it. Okay.
So I also want to say, when you work on a set, I'll tell you this. I got there at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
We shot. I did not wrap until 2:30 a.m.
Damn.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So I want to thank Lucy, the director, and Emmy, and Catherine, who I worked with. And then there is Dave, Esther, and I'll get to this, Robert, and Lisa, and Teresa. So my shots very early are with Emmy and Catherine, and it's pretty good. I had a couple lines.
Nice.
I'm in frame. Whether it gets cut, who knows? But I'm on camera principal, and it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
I'm making some serious money. I'll get residuals. I'm with, Emmy's a star.
Yep.
So I'm pumped about that. And then I'm thinking we're wrapped, and we're at a mansion in Encino.
Okay.
So I go to the backyard, and it's like the wildest party you would ever see.
Nice.
The amount of extras they had was, I couldn't, hundreds.
Yeah.
And it's overlooking Hollywood, and there's a pool, and there's steam, and there is a contortionist. This girl's getting in and out of a box. There's flamethrowers. There's a guy on stilts with a goose.
Wow.
And then there was a magician. Now I'm going to get to you with this, because and by the way, I've been sober since Sunday. I went berserk when Kansas City beat the Eagles, so I'm still not recovered. But when you get to the set, I become a bonder. If the set's great, everybody wants to get the job done.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't understand what it takes pre-production, in fact, I just watched Scott and Kevin pre-produce this podcast.
Yeah.
There's cameras, there's lightings, there's sound. There's so many things that go in to getting ready to see the actor. So as an actor, you want to be on. So the production team last night was fantastic. The actors were, and there's a bond there. Everybody wants to rap and have a great show.
Yeah.
So when you're on a set, you become best friends very quickly. You bond. And then you might leave the project and never talk to that person again.
Right.
Yep.
So at about hour 10, now I'm essentially just background. I'm a party goer, and we're watching all this stuff, and they're taking all these different angles and things. And I've eaten all this food, and I'm eating Snickers bars and shit I don't eat, and I'm fucking drinking caffeinated shit, and I'm backed up. You don't want to go to the bathroom there because it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, my friend Robert and they relocate us. And I think mimes and magicians are fucking interesting and weird as it is.
Yeah.
But this guy Robert has a drink in his hand, and it's fake. Obviously it's a fake drink.
Yeah.
And we're looking over at this magician. Now, just take this with a huge grain of salt. I'm awake. I'm out of my mind. And this magician is facing us with two very beautiful girls right in front of him. And he keeps pulling out this handkerchief, right? Doing the handkerchief thing.
Yeah.
But he's whipping it in the girls' faces. So from Robert and my point of view, it looks like this man is punching them in the fucking face. Okay? So at this point, I am cracking up laughing. Now, I don't think it's funny for anyone to get punched in the face.
Right.
But to see a magician with this fucking lavender scarf and these chicks dancing, just walloping these girls in the face, take after take, I've lost my mind. And I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm on mushrooms. I'm bonding with this guy. When he laughs, I laugh. So then we start doing bits.
Were you guys blowing the scene, laughing too loud?
Yeah, I mean, because I felt bad because it's an interesting question. So the music comes on, they're like, action, and everyone's pumped up and dancing. Then they shut it off, and it's silent. And I'm going, and they're trying to move us, and I want to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So then I start gassing this kid up, because you know I love an audience, right? And I go, dude, if I look at Zonk the Magician one more fucking time, go... Ladies and gentlemen, for my next act, I'm going to punch 2 girls in the face with 1 scarf. Dude, I know it sounds silly, but I felt like I was microdosing on mushrooms because this kid and I were crippled, like, just our bellies were hurting, laughing. And I'm like, this is just another gig in Hollywood. This is why I don't work at Vanguard, because a lot of people laughed at that story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long day. You're exhausted. You're bonding with these guys.
But you're trapped in a sense like a classroom, or if you're at church and you can't laugh. And that gets twice as difficult not to laugh.
Dude, that's the best, is when you're not supposed to laugh, and then it just starts to trickle in.
I couldn't look at this guy. He started drinking his fake drink. I'm like, dude, don't drink that. You're going to get sick. It's like candle wax. But he was like, he was trying not to laugh, so he's doing anything, you know. I mean, by the way, I have a picture of Zonk the Magician.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to like tease her with that. The funny thing is the magician was very sweet, and I felt bad for laughing at him.
Was he actually a magician?
Yeah. Like these people at this party were real. Like it was a real fire eater, fire dancer. The contortionist, I couldn't even look at it. I mean, this little girl was getting into like a box, and it was like, wow, man. Like double jointed and just like crazy poltergeist makeup. I mean, that's not my speed. I mean, it's Halloween, but I get it. But yeah, all these people were real. So, I mean, I just have to tell that story because that's a day in life. That was my Wednesday night.
Yep.
It's a wild life.
Yeah, so I'm plugging it, Angelyne, on NBC's streaming service, Peacock.
Yep.
So we're going to have to check that out.
Same network as Ted Lasso. You're doing well there, Bounceback.
No, Ted Lasso's on Apple.
My bad.
Yeah.
We'll cut that.
And I also want to say, no, it's better. It's always good.
Oh, we're leaving it.
Being wrong emphatically is a great sense of humor. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like you see now I'm digressing. When I go to a bar and there's a hot girl and it's new, I love when she's emphatically wrong. And I'm going to dumb this down real quickly. She'll be like, yeah, I do yoga and a Zumba class. And by the way, did you know the sun is shit brown? And I go, I never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
Great. How about another gin martini? Right? So, I mean, that's really good. So,
Hey, by the way, you've been buying a lot of gin martinis at Craig's, huh?
Dude, it's no good. The first 2 are like insanely good. You feel like James Bond and you're getting loose.
Yeah.
The third one, you start to fade away like Patrick Swayze in Ghost. Like you're starting to see, like you're translucent, looking at your hand like a mental patient.
Yeah.
Fourth one, you are drunken Chewbacca.
Yeah.
The Cav calls me the bar shouter.
Yeah.
4 gins, it's like this. The fucking game is over.
Well, dude, I know what light beer does to you. I can only imagine what gin martinis do to you.
Well, 48 light beers.
Right, okay.
I could drink 6 light beers right now and, paint this place. Another thing I wanted to say, which is great because it's Hollywood and I was really pumped to work last night. The business shut down with COVID. And and COVID's wrecking everything, but I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel because I got to work this show yesterday and it was great. Production was fantastic. It was awesome. I get home at 4. I'm in bed by 4:30. I'm up at 6 because of the dog and all.
Yeah.
And what's my day today? Come over here, do the podcast. What do I do when I go home? I have a self-tape for a commercial and a callback.
Perfect.
So life on the West Coast in Hollywood is starting to pick up.
That's awesome.
I really wanted to talk about that. So that's a good thing. Speaking of Hollywood, the Dodgers won a phenomenal game yesterday.
That was incredible.
What a game.
1-1 to the 9th inning. And who was the guy that hit the 2-run shot?
What was his name, Scotty?
Chris Taylor, right?
Taylor.
Is it Chris Taylor?
Is it Chris?
I think so.
Emphatically wrong. I'm going to go with Chris Taylor.
It was William. No. And then obviously.
At any rate, that guy was slumping. They talked about. he was hitting like 120 or something for the last few weeks to come out and do a walk-off like that.
That's why baseball's the best.
It's
Only
the
takes
best.
one swing.
And what about Aaron Boone? He did it for the Yankees one year. Like, he wasn't having the greatest thing in a Game 7, and he crushed it.
Against the Sox. Yeah, I still remember that.
And the Sox won too. So what I want to ask you guys is this. Baseball is not going to be around unless they make changes, because kids under 30 don't watch television and they don't watch sports. They don't have the attention span. And baseball doesn't have a clock. And I love that, because teams can come back from as many runs as they're down. So a couple of things I want to talk about. I love when baseball goes into extra innings and they put a guy on second. I don't want to see a baseball game that's 18 innings. I just don't.
Yeah.
I want them to have a pitcher's clock. Or batters and pitchers. There's a clock. You got to get in the box as a hitter.
Yeah.
And a pitcher, you got to make these pitches. I don't know what the clock is, but we can't have all these charades that slow the game down. And now I understand, like, a catcher, if his pitcher's getting rattled and there's guys on bases, he'll run to the mound.
Yeah.
Let's quiet the audience. There is an art to that, but I just think for the evolution of baseball, we're going to have to trim that down.
And they talked about a possible minimum for the pitcher to throw. So in other words, he's got to throw to at least 3 batters. That way you can't bring a pitcher in. I say I'm the pitcher. I come in, I pitch to Tim. Now take me out, bring Scotty in. He pitches to the next guy. Now take Scotty out, and he,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I did not
love
know
that rule.
I love that rule too.
So I think that's going to pass.
And here's another one.
Yeah.
They already have the guy from the Oakland Athletics. I want to say his name's Tim something. He was great. He developed a what would be an invisible strike zone? What's the word I'm losing here? If like you couldn't see it. Oh God, it's
I mean, that
Like a virtual?
invisible strike zone sounds right to
Yeah,
me.
but
Like an
there's a-
artificial intelligent strike zone or
but
something.
there's a word I'm missing here. A hologram, like a hologram.
Oh,
right?
got you.
So
Okay.
there's a hologram strike zone that nobody's eye can see, except for theirs. That's 100%. If the ball hits the strike zone, it's a strike or a ball.
Yeah.
Now, you can keep the tradition of the umpire. All the umpires, it's fine. Keep it. But at the very back of the stadium, there's a light. So the umpire just has to stare at that light. If it's red, it's a strike. If it's not, it's a ball.
Wow.
He doesn't even have, all he has to do is call it.
Joe West will not be happy about that.
Joe
Yeah.
West is done. Isn't he done? Isn't his last game?
I don't know.
Is he? This is his last year? Last season?
I think so.
He's gotten a lot of grief lately.
Yeah.
Cowboy Joe West.
Yeah.
Cowboy Joe West. So then back to this. You got a team like the Dodgers who have won 106 games facing the red-hot St. Louis Cardinals. One game
106
elimination.
games?
Did they win 106?
Yeah.
And what did the Dodgers win?
No, Dodgers were 106. Giants were 107.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Right? But the Cardinals won what?
90-something.
Yeah. So
They also won like 19 games in a row, right?
yes. Yeah. So this is great. But I love that. Now, I understand you want to reward the team that wins the most games. But how great is it if a team gets hot that they can get into the playoffs? This is exciting.
It is.
What did you say about it? The elimination thing was like...
Yeah, it's like March Madness.
Yeah.
You win or go home.
And everybody loves March Madness.
Yeah.
And obviously it didn't work this time because you have Yankees and you have the Sox and you have the Cardinals and you have the Dodgers. But for a smaller market that might not be able to rack up the wins, I don't know, like the Minnesota Twins, they might be able to squeak in. So, that's my baseball stuff. Do you guys agree with that or what? I want baseball
the
to be
rules,
around.
everybody keeps debating all these rules because you're right. The ratings are down. The NFL is king. NBA is like right there. Baseball is way in third place for ratings. So they're trying to figure out how can we bring in these young folks into it. You're right, attention span. You can't have this long, almost 4-hour game. These kids just aren't into it.
Yeah, unless
So you
they
gotta
can
figure
pick
out a
their
way to-
pitches on their phone or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Hashtag this. Other news, and I know we're late to the game on this. Well, first of all, we can say the Phillies blew it. The Eagles, who knows what's happening. I don't even want to elaborate on that. The Eagles are still like a science project. Gannon talking about a Swiss cheese fucking defense. Don't get me started. I'll have a headache.
Yeah.
But I'm pulling for Jalen Hurts. So I got to get to Urban Meyer because I know we're flying right here. Guys, I'll let you go with this because I have a rant when you tell me what you think. What do you think about this Urban Meyer guy?
Well, there is a theory, and I kind of am buying it a little bit, that he wants to get fired. Where
Well, if he gets fired, does he still get paid?
I don't know. I don't know the details of the contract, but there's the idea that he's looking at USC as that open head coach. I mean, he would walk in and make.
But I mean, that would be a wild move to be like, "Girl, grind up on me, so I just can." That's like a conspiracy theory.
But did you see the video?
Oh yeah.
It's not that bad. She's just like kind of twerking on it.
It's also not that good. Like
he's married, and
dude, and in that restaurant, it's like there's like a banner of pictures all around the restaurant, and there's a picture of Urban Meyer and his wife.
I think it was his restaurant, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah,
I think he's part investor. But the other thing that's got people upset is he didn't fly home with the team. Like that was a road game.
Was he getting a fucking blowy?
I don't know. They lose. The coach is supposed to be watching tape. You know, his eyes should be red because he's, breaking down so much things that went wrong on tape.
But he's pulling tubes on it?
Yeah. So, interesting thing, coaches always fly home with the team. The one coach that came out didn't fly home with the team was a Patriots coach before Belichick. Who is his apprentice?
Oh
God, I have no idea.
No. He was on a Giants coach too that won the
Bill Parcells.
That's it.
Bill Parcells.
The last coach that didn't fly home with the team. He was coaching the Patriots. They lost the Super Bowl, and I'm blanking on who they lost to. He didn't get on the airplane, and next year he wasn't with the team.
The Patriots lost to the Bears, dude.
Yeah, maybe.
Jim McMahon, dude, the icky shuffle and all that shit.
So he was the last guy to pull what Urban's pulling. And basically, he didn't get on the plane because he knew he wasn't coming back to that team.
Well, then maybe you're on to something. But he had a half-hearted apology. Let me just get to this Urban Meyer guy.
Yeah.
I can't fault anybody for being horny. If you're powerful, you got dough, and you're horny, I get it. You know what I mean? You got one life.
Yep.
Whatever you want to do, whatever your morals are, that's on you. But that being said, let's not go to fucking Brandy's Beach Bar right outside of the stadium and take fucking bubbles twerking you.
Yeah.
Okay? Go somewhere classy, go to a hotel, and honestly, Urban, if you need Brandy bubbles at the fucking beach bar, have a guy. Have a guy say, hey, coach, take it easy, or hey, miss, don't. I mean, come on.
I know.
You're better than that. You would think you're better than that.
Dude, she was like taking selfies of it. I mean, obviously the video someone else was recording, but she also had selfies with Urban Meyer, so he wasn't stopping this
exactly.
at all.
Yeah. All right. So, it's, now that we're saying it out loud and I'm hearing everybody talk, I'm kind of starting to buy fucking Brother Matt.
I am too. I'm all in on that.
I mean, this
Barbie
podcast will come out next week, and by then he might already be gone.
Ooh,
wow,
that'd be great.
big prediction, dude.
Yeah.
Big prediction.
Man, Swami, I love it.
Let's do it.
One other cool thing that happened this weekend, Hall & Oates are from Philadelphia, and they played at the
Hollywood Bowl.
That's
Kevin
exactly.
Connolly attended.
Oh, Kev. So I'm at Chiccone's with TVH. What a nightmare that is. And I don't know what day it is. Could have been Wednesday or Friday. And it's just he and I, when I'm there, I drink wine, and wine destroys me. But, John Oates is, pretty unmistakable.
Yeah.
Some people say,
for our younger audience, can you give us a little Hall & Oates? Because, I don't know what songs they do.
Oh, watch this. It's a bitch, girl, because you're gone too far, and you know it don't matter anyway. You can rely on your old man's money. You can rely on your old man's money. It's a bitch, girl, because you're gone too far, and you know it don't matter anyway.
Yeah.
Gone too far. Oh, shit.
Hall & Oates, baby.
That's it, dude. Poor those guys are like fucking bounce back. Bounce in the fucking back of the bus.
Well, you were doing Neil Diamond on the last episode. Now we're doing Hall & Oates. You might have started a little tradition here.
Yeah,
that's it.
Throwbacks with Tim.
Could be.
Nice.
I got to tell you, though, I see him come in, and I go, Philly style. And you got to love a guy. That guy's playing the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
And he couldn't help himself. He sees it, and I'm like, and I look at him, and he just waves.
Yeah.
So then the girl sits him outside in the parking lot of Chiccone's. It's kind of Covidaci stuff. Mm-hmm. And I go up to her and I'm like, here's my credit card. Buy them dinner. Buy them wine. That guy is important to me. I was a musician. It's not going to be that much money. You know what I mean? Fuck, we're doing it. And she comes back and she goes, we are not allowed to do that. It's against policy. We've done it before, and it doesn't work out, and blah, blah, blah. And I go, all right, don't fucking worry about it, whatever. And I was probably tuned up, too. I mean, who buys people dinner? Fucking weird. What am I, the Godfather?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden, I come out of the bathroom, and he's walking down. And I go, dude, John Oates, man, Philadelphia. I go, I'm from Norristown, Pennsylvania. He's like, yeah, I know. And I go, dude, I love your music, man, but I love this one quote. And he has this quote about Philadelphia, and mostly Philadelphia, but also a little bit about New York and the Northeast, where he just says the loyalty that Philadelphia has to its city is like none other. Mm-hmm. He goes, New York is arguably the greatest city. It's easy to get behind New York, right? Yeah. But he just said Philly unabatedly just loves the city,
loves their own. Yeah.
And I go, dude, and he goes, he looked at me, he goes, that's true. And he goes, do you want a picture? I'm like, fuck yes, I want a picture. But would you come over after you go to the bathroom? Because my stylist is over there. And if I get a picture with you without him, he's like, no problem. Cruises over, introduces, says he's pumped to play the ball, takes a picture. So again, like Al Pacino, I'll say this about John Oates. If you already loved him, now you adore him.
Yep.
What a fucking great guy.
That's awesome.
You know?
That's awesome.
Other thing, man, I'm trying to keep this tight, but we are fucking getting through some shit here. I've been on a terrible, terrible tear in gambling. Not only terrible tear in gambling, the chick I'm dating's like in a rehab facility. I had to drive to Pasadena. My radiator blew up on the fucking 134.
No, the Cousin Steve mobile?
Fucking lesbian mobile just fucking poof.
Oh, man.
I got to get a fucking tow truck. It cost me $1,400. I mean, it's just been bad luck. If I hear one more yoga instructor, astrologist, emerald gem collector tell me it's Mercury in retrograde, I'm gonna fucking attack. I don't know what the fuck it means. I don't care. Don't fucking tell me.
We got to Google it. How long does that Mercury thing last?
Dude, I can't take it. It's like fucking nails on a chalk. But you know, it's Mercury in retrograde.
Oh, God. Oh, man, that's brutal.
All right, Mercury in retrograde is an illusion that makes it appear from Earth as though Mercury is moving in the opposite direction to usual planets always orbit the sun anti-clockwise.
So I guess in yoga terms, the cosmic universe is negative at the moment.
Right.
Yeah. You're in fucking...
I mean, the dumbest shit of all time.
Yeah.
When you're in downward dog, you fart out loud and people are bummed. I can't take it. All right, we got to move on here. So the Matt Bader special is going to be a new segment because you can do it in every sport. Now, you don't even have to bet on this because if you listen to the show, I want you to DM us your Matt Bader specials. You don't have to bet. So again, to define exactly what it is, you need to do two bets. One, pick the home team, right? Mm-hmm. And then two, in that game where you pick the home team, you pick the over or the under. So my example is this. Minnesota is playing the Detroit Lions at home. Minnesota is laying 9 points. The total over-under is 49. My Matt Bader special, my Bounceback Matt Bader special is Minnesota -9 over 49.
Got it. Yeah, and going back to baseball, the Boston game, the Matt Bader special hit. So Boston played the Yankees. It was in Boston, Fenway, and the over-under was 8 on some sites. However, I got it at 7.5. Mm-hmm. Boston wins 6-2. 6 + 2 is 8. The over hits, and the Matt Bader special came in even during Mercury retrograde.
Wow! Take that, yoga chicks.
Up yours, Mercury.
You fucking retrograde. But anyway, let's really get back to it. Give us how much you risked and how much you won.
So I did pretty well financially, and so moving on, we'll send it back to Tim.
Take that, Mercury retrograde. Scooty, what's your pick? Oh, wait, hold on. Matt, what's your pick this week?
So I wanted to take tonight's game. Let's break it down because I was feeling the Matt Bader special for the NFL tonight. We've got the Rammies. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong, but are they on the road in Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle -2.5. Over under is like 54ish.
So I am a Rams fan. I just think the Matt Bader special is going to come in tonight. I think Seattle to the over.
I don't like it. I think Rams bounce back.
Really?
Yep. Scooty?
I'm going to stick with playoff baseball, and I'm going to stick with the Sox. So Sunday, October 10th, they're back in Fenway. I'm going to take the Sox over the Rays.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, Scooty, we have to write this down.
Yep.
Because every week now, we're going to recap how the three of us did, and then we'll start our.
We'll keep a little record.
Yeah. All right. We're getting dangerously close to the end of the show, but honestly, this is my favorite segment, pros and cons. Now, listen, I got some great pros and cons on my DMs and the show's DMs. But when you send them into me, guys, it's got to be like one sentence or two sentences. Some people wrote the Torah and the Bible and the Declaration of Independence. You got to be short, sweet, smart, and quick on both sides, So I'm going to let Matt, you got your specs? Can you even read that or what?
Yeah. Let's see here. Which one? There's a couple good ones here.
And by the way, pros and cons, again, there's just quickly one or two sentences, say something positive about me.
I got one from Aaron McGregor,
Okay.
crazy name. Pro, you're not humiliated by anything. What you see is what you get. And you bring smiles. Pretty blasé pro.
Okay.
Con, we have never got zapped together, and you're an Eagles fan.
Okay. Thanks, McGregor.
Taking a shot. He also said if you want to go to a Seahawks game, he's got you. So maybe we'll take a little podcast trip up to
Maybe
Seattle.
we will. Maybe we'll go up there with Chris Pratt, this fucking beloved Seahawks. I'll work on that.
Nice.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I got one from Beth Adams. Rings a bell. She's from Norristown, no?
Yeah, she's my grade from St. Francis.
That's right.
And Kenrick?
Yep.
So
pro, Beth says, pro, you keep it real and are still the funny, genuine guy I remember from back in the day. So yes, that is the Beth Adams we're thinking of. The con, Tim, I'm not sure if I should throw you a celebration or an intervention for your vibes.
Wait a second. All right, Beth, I'll work on that.
A Mercury and retrograde chick with the vibes there.
That is our show. Bounce Back with Uncle Tim. I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank everyone for engaging. The DMs are great. I love it. Everyone have a great weekend. Send us your Matt Bader specials.
Send it in, guys. We're going to read some winners next week.
Yep.
And
we want to see them.
Instagram, the Bounceback Show. Go follow, go comment, go do all the things. And on iTunes, give us some likes, some ratings.
That's it.
It helps the show.
And Scotty, have a safe trip. Thank you all.
guys.
Awesome. See you guys.